Hey everyone, welcome to your university, the place where we talk all about the Dragon Ball universe. Today, we are going to go through Goku absorbing all the powers of Vegeta. And if you would like to see more Dragon Ball content, please leave your like and subscribe to join our university. Goku and Vegeta begin as mortal enemies, but slowly their relationship blossoms into a brotherly bond, united by their Saiyan roots. Fatherhood blesses the two young men, and each with two bundles of joy to care for. Priorities must be set, with the ultimatum boiling down to family or fighting. With Saiyan blood inciting the two warriors to combat, it seemed that the outcome would obviously be to lean towards violence, and child rearing would inevitably be left to the women. However, only one Z fighter overcomes his basic desire to fight to be with his family, showing some of the most significant character developments in Dragon Ball Z. But is Vegeta really that much stronger than Goku after all? What things can he do that his rival can't? And could Goku absorb this power for himself, making himself even stronger? Let's talk about all of this in today's video. While Goku remains perhaps the most recognizable figure in Dragon Ball, fans could not deny the absolute appeal of Vegeta, Prince of all Saiyans. First appearing in the Dragon Ball sequel, Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta first appeared as a proud and arrogant Saiyan determined to conquer the Earth, retrieve the Dragon Spheres, and achieve immortality for himself. However, the trials against Frieza and the future threats to Goku's side formed a kind of rivalry between the two warriors. And now, Vegeta has dedicated himself to defeating Goku and at the same time protecting the new planet where he permanently resides. It is true that Goku is never sloppy in his training. In fact, he is probably obsessed with training more than anyone else. However, while Goku's training only enhances what appears to be his natural talent to unlock something innate within him that goes beyond expectations, Vegeta unlocks his new forms and the like through pure training. For example, it was through training and frustration that Vegeta accessed the Super Saiyan form, not because of a prophecy. This also helped him ascend into the form through hyperbolic time chamber. Likewise, it is his cooperation with Bulma that allows him to acquire the Super Saiyan 4 form. One of the most notable characteristics of Vegeta as Goku's rival and a hero in the series is how he didn't necessarily start out as a good person in the first place. Instead, the Prince of Saiyans was spectacularly evil, not hesitating to be brutal and kill if it meant achieving his goal of immortality. It is only through Goku's humiliation and his time on Earth with his new family with Bulma and Trunks that Vegeta began to explore his inner good. However, Vegeta often became the victim of ploys and plans that transformed and took advantage of his evil side. It is his pride and overconfidence that allowed Cell to fully exploit his final form. The magician Baby D used his magic to transform Vegeta into Majin Vegeta, while the villainous Baby infected Vegeta to become his vessel. Given the proud nature of the Saiyans, it is not surprising that King Vegeta would name his son after his home planet. And given Prince Vegeta's noble stature, he received formal training as an elite Saiyan. Unfortunately for Vegeta, he, Nappa, and Raditz became warriors under Frieza's command after the destruction of their home planet. Regardless, Vegeta having to survive so close to Frieza meant that he had to keep an eye on his actions to survive. These principles apply to Vegeta's approach to combat. He is as ruthless as he is expert in strategy and battle tactics, as he always thinks of ways to outmaneuver his opponents rather than pure direct combat. This is quite different from Goku, who enjoys the thrill of combat and apparently employs the philosophy of hit harder when facing a more difficult opponent. And while Goku's method seems to be working more, a more tactical Vegeta is a nice change of pace in Dragon Ball combat. Given the proud nature of the Saiyans, it's not surprising that King Vegeta names his son after his home planet. And given Prince Vegeta's noble stature, he received formal training as an elite Saiyan. Unfortunately for Vegeta, he, Nappa, and Raditz became warriors under Frieza's command after the destruction of their home planet. Regardless, Vegeta having to survive so close to Frieza meant that he had to keep an eye on his actions to survive. These principles apply to Vegeta's approach to combat. He is as ruthless as he is expert in strategy and battle tactics, as he always thinks of ways to outmaneuver his opponents rather than pure direct combat. This is quite different from Goku, who enjoys the thrill of combat and apparently employs the philosophy of hit harder when facing a more difficult opponent. And while Goku's method seems to be working more, a more tactical Vegeta is a nice change of pace in Dragon Ball combat. Given the increasingly powerful threats to Universe 7, it made sense for its warriors to be adequately prepared to face them. And in an attempt to finally be better than Goku, Vegeta sought the tutelage of Whis, the angel-guide attendant of Beerus, Universe 7 god of destruction. In fact, it is after hearing that Vegeta is training with Whis that Goku manages to escape his way of training with them as well. However, what is hilarious was how Vegeta got Whis to accept his offer. In essence, Vegeta has taken Whis to various places on Earth to sample some of the most delicious foods on Earth and gives in when he is satisfied. It is thanks to Whis training that Vegeta was able to match the strongest fighters, especially those from other universes in the Tournament of Power. When Vegeta first arrived on Earth, he couldn't believe he was being protected by a fellow Saiyan, and when Goku proved to be much stronger than him, Vegeta saw no choice but to use the Great Ape transformation himself. This proved to be almost catastrophic for Goku, since the Great Ape transformation was something he was no longer able to do since his tail was cut off by Master Kame. And yet, Goku was able to trick Vegeta and defeat him in this form. This was quite an interesting ability for Vegeta, especially in his first fight with Goku. Being able to recognize the need for the Great Ape and consciously use it proves that Vegeta has remarkable self-control, considering that both Goku and Gohan went crazy during their Great Ape transformations. While Goku has signature moves like the Kamehameha, Vegeta also has several attacks up his sleeve. One of the most used attacks in his arsenal is the Final Flash. Vegeta does this by opening his arms and gathering ki before placing both hands in front of him to release a flurry of energy beams. His most extreme and superpowered state allows the Final Flash to also be seen in outer space. Theoretically, Goku may have been able to use Final Flash if he wanted to train in its use. However, it seems that Final Flash fits Vegeta's style much better, considering its wide area of effect and flashy appearance. While Goku has the Kamehameha, Vegeta has his Gallic Gun. While not as powerful as the Big Bang attack, Gallic Gun is still one of Vegeta's favorite attacks if he needs something much more focused and devastating than the Final Flash. To use this, Vegeta places one palm over the other facing outward and over his chest. Once he gathers enough ki, Vegeta pushes his hands outward to release a huge beam of energy. According to the anime, the Gallic Gun is equal in power with a Kamehameha enhanced with 3 Kaioken, making the Gallic Gun at base more powerful than Goku's base Kamehameha. Perhaps considered Vegeta's signature technique, the Big Bang attack is one of the most devastating attacks in the series. To use it, Vegeta simply extends one arm and opens his palm, condensing ki and then releasing it in an instantly huge explosion. He uses this attack first using Android 19, which completely annihilates him. Similar to his other attacks, Vegeta can create many variations of the Big Bang attack depending on his condition and needs. The cruel and instantaneous nature of the Big Bang attack matches Vegeta's personality, which tends to become sporadic. It is quite frustrating for Vegeta to see that Goku always tries the flashy forms first, which can make the sight of Goku perfecting Super Saiyan Blue annoying to him. And while Goku gets to use perfected Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta decides to spice things up by completely evolving the form. Called Super Saiyan Blue Evolved, Vegeta achieves this transformation by removing the restrictions imposed by the Super Saiyan Blue transformation. As a result, the form gives Vegeta a full power boost that apparently complements his rage. This form proved to be more than enough to damage the then invincible Jiren, who was beginning to reveal portions of his power. Fans of the series were quite surprised to see Goku achieve Ultra Autonomous Instinct, especially since this form essentially allowed his body to move freely and without restriction. As such, he is able to dodge and react to attacks instantly, without the need to think. Truly the ultimate warrior. Goku spent a good fraction of Dragon Ball Super dominating his enemies in this regard, until Vegeta achieved a similar form. By tapping into the power of destruction, Vegeta is able to summon Ultra Ego. This transformation is the opposite of Ultra Instinct, as it gives the user complete control over his body. Others say that this form gives Vegeta a power similar to that of a god of destruction, making him one of the most powerful beings in the universe. In fact, this mode is extremely powerful, as Vegeta can destroy attacks simply by touching them. However, this transformation fuels the user's desire for destruction and chaos. It has become a joke throughout the franchise that Goku may not be as good a father as people claim he is, and Vegeta manages to prove just that. While he is always ready to train to make sure he matches Goku's strength, Vegeta leaves his responsibilities as a father first should they arise. This is quite different from Goku, who continually allows training to get in the way of family duties. For example, even imagine Vegeta knocked out a young Trunks to spare the child from seeing his father at his worst. In Super, Vegeta refused to leave Bulma until after she gave birth to Bula, and was even willing to stay in a Ru-In timeline to ensure that future Trunks could survive. More importantly, while Vegeta often trains Trunks, he spends time with him and Bula whenever possible, taking his daughter shopping and even making good on his promise to take Trunks and Bulma to the mall. As for issues of power and other abilities, we have cited some that Goku does not possess. But if he could be able to absorb this power, perhaps by learning it, or literally using some means to take it, perhaps through a fusion failure, or with some hidden ability, it might be possible. So not only would a piece of the powers, or would it be a perfect copy, go into his body, allowing new abilities to be used. Of course, this would make Vegeta quite angry, but it would certainly be curious to see Goku using alter ego, for example. But what about you? Do you like Vegeta? What are your favorite skills of his, and which ones do you think would match Goku? Leave your opinion in the comments. That's it. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions for videos, don't forget to comment here below, because I'll be reading all of them as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your university.